This video goes by way of me having done Broly vs. Atrocitus yesterday. That video, despite dropping at midnight, is doing very well. I'm very happy it is. I had a lot of fun doing that video, and it's one of the most interesting battles I've done on my channel because I truly feel like the battle would not end in a loss for anyone. I truly feel Broly would become a Red Lantern. So I posed at the end of that video, hey, do you guys want to see a what if Broly became a Red Lantern? And it got a lot of good feedback. So this is my take on Broly joining the Red Lanterns. I did it in a way that I felt made a lot of sense and was the most fun, trying to balance both, really good fan fiction. So if you like these what if stories, these thought out, drawn out what if stories and crossover events, hit the like button. You really got to show me you support it and hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to YFV, your favorite villain, please hit the subscribe button. And if you have not become a member and you would like to, check it out. If you purchase a membership, you will be able to get a free membership for your friend. Also, before you buy one, make sure to add me on Discord to make sure you go through the proper steps needed for the 30 for 30 deal. Now, with that being said, this is my what if Broly joins the Red Lanterns. I spent a lot of time on this, and I hope you guys enjoy, so let's begin. Gogeta couldn't help but avert his eyes. No one should be subjected to such pressure, such illogical power. He instinctively ducked an impossibly fast jab from Broly, and as he slipped the punch, the hole that had formed in the tear in the dimension grew furthermore. Gogeta, sensing danger, blasted backwards immediately as the hole's dragging force became stronger. His enemy, Broly, was not as smart. The brutish Saiyan roared as the reality rip he created with his very blows in this fight pulled him in, disappearing from the side of Goku. Broly felt his mind being subjected to forces beyond his own comprehension. The legendary Saiyan braced himself as he flew through whatever this was. Broly could not identify whatever surreal realm this now was. Briefly, he swore he saw something. A man in the distance? No, not a man. A small man? A dwarf? Why was it smiling at him? This enraged him. A fairy? Was it an imp? Whatever it was, Broly suddenly no longer saw it, and found himself being sucked through another rip, and everything went to black. Elsewhere, in a vast, elegant room, the atmosphere of the room was sour, the noise quiet. They all felt it. "What do you think it is?" one of them asked. Another shrugged. Others simply frowned in confusion. "Such a spike cannot go unnoticed," one of them said. "It must, at the very least, be investigated." The others nodded. One of them even stood up. "I will assemble the Green Lanterns at once. They will be deployed to investigate this emotional anomaly. While I do this, the rest of you may make preparations." As he left, the others sighed. It could be really stressful sometimes, being a guardian of the universe. Hal crossed his arms. He was sure the Guardians were on some BS. He was followed by a platoon of rookie and some seasoned Green Lanterns. It was really an even mix, and one that made him a little uncomfortable. Despite his natural skepticism, Hal did feel a bit perturbed. His instincts, and perhaps his ring, were trying to warn him about something new. "Lanterns," a voice said. Hal looked up to see the Guardian approach. Before he could make a small quip, the Guardian raised a hand. "Not now, Hal Jordan," he said. Hal considered responding, but didn't. Maybe this would be interesting. The Guardian waved a hand, and a map of a quadrant appeared above them. "Sector 732, he said. "This sector recently saw a massive upshift in emotion. We need the platoon of you, led by Hal Jordan, to investigate this spike and report back to us. Use force if necessary." What was this emotion? a young lantern asked. Hal looked back at the young lantern, then looked back at the Guardian, who shifted uncomfortably in the air. The emotion was rage. Broly rose, like a pissed-off zombie. He did not know where he was. The rift was no longer visible to him. He looked up at the starry sky. Somehow, he knew instinctually, this was not his home. This universe was not even his. He was not done fighting though. He had to return and finish the battle. He screamed and powered up, the surrounding area blowing up. He growled as his aura pulsed, and he stopped suddenly. Someone was approaching. Hal stopped the platoon in the air. The alien was miles away from where they floated. It had sat up and then stood. Then it screamed horribly, and the surface of the planet where he stood went up in a blaze of destructive energy. Hal rushed in, the lanterns behind him. Whatever this thing was, it was strong. They needed to calm it down and bring it in. Broly turned as the platoon landed. He did not recognize their green uniforms, but he did recognize the emotions their faces gave him. Anger. As Hal moved to speak to the enraged brute, he knew it was a waste. He barely had time to throw up a shield as the alien blasted him with energy. This energy ripped at his shield, and his defenses were boosted by the other lanterns. Take him, Hal yelled. Suddenly, the atmosphere was nothing but pulsing lights and the sound of death. Broly screamed. He was furious. These gnats would not leave him be. He spun in less than an instant, grabbing one of the green little men by the neck. He screamed and squeezed, breaking the lantern's neck. Broly yelled not in fury, but pain as he was hit from behind. As he turned, he saw another green man had hit him. This one was stronger. Broly screamed in primal rage, and suddenly everything seemed to slow. A red streak zipped by Hal. Hal moved towards it, recognizing the danger. It was too late. Broly, you have great capacity for rage. The red ring slid onto the finger of the massive alien, and the merging of the two caused an explosion that swallowed up everyone. Broly growled in pain. His body was morphing. He felt it internally. However, he did not know how extreme it really was. Every cell was changing in his body. Even his angry, beating heart had been replaced. He was different now. His mind felt clearer, the more clouded it was with rage. He accepted this fully. Broly, is it? Atrocitus said. Broly turned and grunted. This large alien was also red like him. I am Atrocitus, leader of the Red Lanterns. I am here to welcome you as one of ours. We will show you plenty of places to let your rage loose. Broly nodded. He leapt in the air and followed Atrocitus off-world, leaving the trail of dead Green Lantern bodies behind him. Hal Jordan stirred. Everything hurt. He had been fighting some big-ass aliens with his comrades when it suddenly obtained a Red Lantern ring. Everything went to hell soon after. Hal felt weak and close to fading out again. He held on grimly to consciousness and fired off a distress signal. As he did, he could see moments later a weird figure flying through over to him. He prayed it was just a friendly as he passed out again. It is called Oa, Atrocitus explained. His legion of lanterns stood before him, all of them antsy. War was near. His new comrade, Broly, huffed and puffed. Atrocitus was beyond excited to see him in battle soon. He was strong, and his anger boosted Atrocitus as well. Oa is the home of our greatest enemies, the Guardians and the Green Lanterns. We take the war to them. We show them our rage, and we finish them off. His people screamed angrily in response, and Atrocitus smiled as he saw Broly was pumped too. Two of some of the most different beings in existence stood next to each other. One, a bringer of fear. One of hope. Sinestro and St. Walker, yellow and blue lanterns. Atrocitus had acquired an asset, the Guardian said. Sinestro chuckled. So? It is a game changer, the Guardian snapped. This brute annihilated an entire platoon of lanterns. We don't know where he came from, but he serves Atrocitus now. What's this have to do with me? Sinestro asked. I can handle Atrocitus. The Guardian crossed his arms. Sinestro, your daughter was one of the fallen lanterns. Atrocitus stirred. So did Broly. They had been training star systems playgrounds to their sparring sessions. The two amped each other into rage-fueled gods. They would be kings soon. They felt it at the same time, an emotional blip. One that might have been as significant as even Broly's. Broly snarled. Atrocitus turned serious. Within moments, Atrocitus and Broly led the Red Lanterns off-world, hurtling towards the blip. Hal finally came to on a new planet. He was resting on a bed of soft leaves. He sat up and someone stopped him. It was a Green Lantern. "Sup, man," Hal said. The Lantern grilled. "What's up?" Hal said. The Lantern grinned at him. "I am Alosis," he said. "I helped stabilize you. Well, me and my new apprentice. His name is Goku," the Happy Lantern said. Hal frowned at the rookie. What a weirdo. Still, he could tell this was a powerful lantern in training. As was the short man next to him, although this one was not a ring and was not a lantern. "I am Prince Vegeta," the short one said, a frown on his face. "Okay," Hal said. The two stared at each other tensely. Before anything weird happened, a rescue squad of Green Lanterns arrived. Orosis waved them down, and the much larger platoon than the original one landed. "Get up, Hal," Alosis said. Hal stood up and braced himself. The collective Green Lanterns, along with Vegeta, braced themselves as well, as streaks of red appeared on the horizon. Atrocitus landed, flanked by his powerful allies. He walked towards his enemy, the bastard, Hal Jordan. Jordan raised his arm. "Come in quietly, Atrocitus. No need for bloodshed." "I love blood," Atrocitus said. Hal shook his head. "Of course." Before either moved, Broly screamed. He recognized the Saiyans. The Red Lantern charged, setting off the battle instantly. The two to fight first were Hal and Atrocitus. The two go back and forth, an ultimate power struggle of green versus red, as Hal is fresh, but Atrocitus is amped by Broly being in his presence. Red Lantern Broly faces off with Green Lantern Goku and Super Saiyan God Vegeta. The trio fight going back and forth, with this new form of Broly being significantly stronger than what he was even as a legendary Saiyan. Green Lantern Goku is quite formidable himself, but he was not as strong as Broly before either of them got their rings. This makes it a very difficult fight for both Green Lantern Goku and Vegeta. During this fight, Vegeta kind of starts getting folded, and he becomes enraged at his inadequacy. This is when a Red Lantern appears. Vegeta then gets slammed through the mountain. He hears Goku vs. Broly in the distance. He screams in frustration and anger. Again, the ring shoots forth, following him from where he got thrown. "Vegeta, you have a great capacity for rage." Hal Jordan and Green Lantern Goku are left to fend for themselves against Atrocitus, Red Lantern Broly, the other Red Lanterns, and a newly changed, pissed off Red Lantern Vegeta. The soon-to-be incoming slaughter is interrupted by the arrival of Sinestro and his other yellow lanterns. He tells Atrocitus he really shouldn't be messing with out-of-towners. This is when we see Atrocitus, Red Lantern Broly, and Red Lantern Vegeta, and all of the Red Lanterns with them go against Sinestro, Hal, Green Lantern Goku, and the Yellow Lanterns. This battle was immense, brutal, and powerful. So powerful, in fact, it extended over to where the rift was, drawing the attention of those in the Dragon Ball verse who see the rift in the dimension. All throughout the multiverse, several characters through time and space moved in response to the rift. One investigated faster than others. A certain feeling drew him in. Elsewhere, the Justice League, seeing this massive battle take place, decide it is time to interfere. As the Red Lanterns inevitably begin winning, the planet the fight is taking place on explodes. A new Yellow Lantern has appeared, coming down from the sky among the debris as Sinestro laughs. Here comes Yellow Lantern Frieza. Anyways, guys, this is the end of part 1 of What If Broly joined the Red Lanterns as he crosses over to DC. Let me know what you think. Predict what's going to happen as Yellow Lantern Frieza has now pulled up and will be assisting in the battle. Let me know what you think transpired, how it happened, how it came to be. Predict who else you think will pop up in part 2. Who do you want to see from both sides in part 2, from DC and from Dragon Ball? Who do you want to see come into play in the story? Get active in the comments. Let me know what you want to see. Anyways, it's been YFV, your favorite villain. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.